Hey, friend, if you've ever felt different or delayed, overlooked, or behind, I want you to know something up front. You were not set apart for nothing. God chose you intentionally and on purpose. And what might feel like delay, isolation, confusion might actually be divine preparation. Today, we're going to talk about why God chooses certain people for set apart seasons and what that means for your purpose, your mindset, and your calling. So grab your coffee and your journal and let's talk. That feeling of being left out, forgotten, left behind, delayed, it is not punishment. Okay, it's protection and it's preparation. And I know I say this a lot. You're not being left behind. You're being built differently because God doesn't rush what He is refining. He is the master potter. In Romans 8:28, it says, and we know in all things God works for the good of those who love Him and who have been called according to His purpose. And so if you find yourself in a quiet season or a waiting room of sorts, please don't assume it's wasted. Because the truth is that God is busy shaping something in you before He can release something through you. Now, here's something fascinating according to neuroscience. Our brains are actually constantly being shaped by what we focus on. It's called neuroplasticity, and it means that even in your quiet season, your brain is constantly being rewired by your daily habits, prayers, thoughts. Isn't that so cool? That means your wilderness season isn't still. It's actually a very active space where growth and healing and rewiring are taking place. Another powerful fact in psychology, studies have shown that people who have a strong sense of purpose actually live longer, healthier lives. And so purpose adds meaning, and that meaning literally energizes the body and mind, which is what we need. The truth is that God built us to thrive when we live on purpose, His purpose. And so I think it's important to note that God doesn't just call us chosen and then leave it at that, right? He equips us for what He has called us to do. There are specific talents and gifts that God has placed in each of us on purpose. If you're not sure what yours are, take the time to ask. Ask your parents, ask your friends. What am I naturally good at? What gifts do I have that you think the Lord has given me? Okay, and then you're going to hone in on those. Focus your time and energy there. Trust me, it is so much easier and so much more fruitful to get to, let's say, a 10 in an area, which is something that you're already naturally gifted for, than to spend your whole life grinding and struggling to get to a 5 in something that you might not have been called or even wired for. And friend, when you begin to steward what God has already placed in your hand, your gifts, your voice, your unique design, that is when you begin to walk in the fullness of why you were set apart. And I'm going to tell you that being set apart isn't always glamorous. It means you might not get invited to things and you might be the odd one out. But honey, I want you to keep this in mind. You weren't made to blend in. You were made to shine. Hallelujah. 1 Peter 2:9 says, you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness and into His wonderful light. Your light has a purpose. Your life is meant to reflect God's glory, not just on stages or big platforms, but in your daily habits, your attitude, your faith, And so if you've been asking, why me, God? Why this path? Why does it seem like everyone else is getting ahead? And so here's a reminder, God didn't set you apart to sit you down. He just doesn't work like that. He set you apart to build something unique through you. So take this season seriously. Take your calling seriously. Spend time in the Word, sharpen your gifts, and trust that being set apart is not a sign that you've been forgotten. It's actually confirmation that you've been chosen. Now it's your turn. Let me know down in the comments what gift or talent you are asking God to show you more clearly. I'd love to hear what you feel called to lean into and to be able to pray for you in those areas if you would like me to do so. I'm Daniella Shama Rose. Blessings and love.